Hello, welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the export option in Adobe Illustrator. Now, let's get started. For you to be able to export any design you have made in Adobe Illustrator, you have to take note of something. You have to take note of the format you want to export it. Okay, we have a PNG format, we have a JPG format, we have you can even save it as a PDF format. So it now depends on the options you want to use. Okay, so but any option you want to use, you are still going to follow the same process. So now let's get started. So all you have to do is to come to file, then you will see exports. And looking at this export, you have three options there. But I will always advise you to use this one and two. Okay, and I'm going to explain my reasons for that. For example, this first one, export for screen. Let's click on it. This export for screen give you access to save this image. It gives you access for you to be able to export an image in multiple formats. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. For example, I have for example, I have this design now. Okay, but it's going to show the name of the hardboard. Okay, what I rename my hardboard with is what is going to show here. Do you get it now? So with this one automatically, everything, if you are using the export for screen option, it's going to work with the hardboard alone. It's not going to export anything outside your hardboard. Do you get it now? So if you have multiple hardboard, it's going to show here. If you have multiple hardboard, it's going to show here. Then you can now decide to rename it with what you want to save it with. Okay, so for example, I can say training flyer. Okay, do you get it now? So you can come to this area here. If you have multiple artboard, you can now choose the range of what you want to export. For example, let's assume we have 20 artboard here. So and you don't want to export page one. So you can click on range and choose the range of the numbers of items you want to export. Do you get it now? Good. So I can decide to now click on what? All. So now here is going to show the location where you are going to save your item, where you are exporting the items to. Do you get it now? So if you know that you don't want to use this, you can just click on this area, then go to your directories, the different directories you have on your PC, and choose the one you want to save it. Choose the folder you want all your export to be. Okay, you get it now. So for example, if I click on design course here now, good. If I click on design pause here now, this is what I'm going to have. Then I'll just click on select folder, select folder. That's all. So now come to this format here. We have different formats for exporting. We have different formats for exporting items in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, and I'm going to tell you those ones you are supposed to use and the one you are not supposed to use. So basically, all the format you have here is what you can use. But what you actually determine the options you'll be choosing here is the nature of the project. For example, if you are making a flyer like this, you don't need to make use of SVG, okay? Because SVG means scalable vector graphics and is meant for logo. Do you get my point now? So if you are designing a logo and you want to export logo in Adobe Illustrator, you have to export it as JPG, PNG. PNG means if you don't have any background in the design, it means you are going to export your design without background. Do you get my point now? But if you have background and you still want to use the PNG format, you can still go ahead and use it. But basically, if you are exporting flyer, anything for web usage, always use your JPG. Okay, you can also use your PNG. Do you get it now? But just take note that the PNG format might not work when you are trying to upload it to some website. Okay, do you get my point now? So We have the SVG option. I've explained that earlier. SVG means scalable vector graphics and is like saving. When you save a project with SVG, they can easily edit it with any vector graphics software. Do you get my point? And this option come in handy when you are dealing with logo. Do you get it now? It's come in handy when you are dealing with logo. But if you are exporting social media designs, flyer, banner, and so on and so forth, always work with your JPG and sometimes PNG. Maybe you are trying to export something without background. Do you get it now? So, like I said earlier, export for screen give you options to export your items in multiple formats. For example, the way I want to export this my design in JPG, I can decide to also export it in PNG also. All I have to do is to click on add scale, then I will have what? PNG here. So if I want to have it as PDF, I can select PDF also. Do you get it? So I can change this one to 1x. Do you get it now? So I can decide to go on and add another one. Let's say I'm adding PDF format now. So looking at this single design now, it's going to export in three options. And what are the three options now? It's going to export as a JPG file, PNG file, and also a what? A PDF document. Do you get it now? So all I have to do is to click on export artboard. So can you see now? Export artboard. So it's going to take me back to it sef. Do you get it now? It's going to take me back to it. So looking at it now, all my designs will be saved with this 1x because the scale is 1x. So if I open it now, you will see it. Okay. So I want to sort this now to type so that you can see the difference. I want to sort it to type. Okay. Because we don't have multiple export here. So that's the reason why. But if you look at it now, are you looking at the description now? Can you see the description? So this one actually exported as a JPG file. Why this one exported as a what? As a PNG file using just one export option. So my PDF will be under PDF. So can you see it now? It's as simple as that. So now let's go back to Illustrator and use the other options we have. Okay, so go back to file again, come to export, then click on export as. Okay, export what? As. So you can now change the directories there. And if you want to rename the file, you can come here and rename it. Training flyer. Edit is here. Okay. Edit the name here. Can you see now? So I can just write flyer there. Okay. Now my save as export as option now will give me access to what? To save it as any of these options that I have here. Okay. So but I always advise you to stick with what? JPG, PNG, and you can even decide to save it as a Photoshop document. Okay, and if you save it as a Photoshop document, you'll be able to open it with Photoshop. Though you might not be able to do some editing with it. You get it now? Good. And there's also an option for SVG, TIFF. This one is meant for printing. Okay, so let's assume you want to print your designs. And note, if you are printing your design, you can always rely on the JPG format and the PDF format. Okay, if you export it as JPG or PDF, you can rely on that for what? For printing. But you can also save it as TIFF also. Okay, if you save it as this format, is meant for printing also. So like, let's assume I click on JPG, then here is what you need to pay attention to. Okay, there's this option here, use artboard. Okay, what does this mean in essence is that if you did not click on this use artboard, it's going to export the whole interface. Okay, the all the content you have in your printboard area in Adobe Illustrator and all the content you have in your artboard is going to export everything together. Do you get it now? But when you tick this use artboard, then all the content that is going to export will be the one within your what? Within your artboard area. And I'm going to show you what I mean now. So let me export this first. let me export it here under, okay, let's just export it here so that we can see. I'm exporting this now. I click on my what? Use artboard. So I click on export. Then you can come here and do modifications to it. You can decide to change the color mode to CYMK if you know that you want to print it. Okay, but yet now we have printers that recognize RGB. Okay, we have printers that can print RGB without any issue. So you have to just know the nature of printer you'll be using to print any document. I'm talking about when you are creating banners or window graphics here now. Do you get it now? So it's as simple as that. Then the quality, always leave it as maximum. Okay, so the compression based method, don't do anything there. The resolution, always leave it as high resolution, except if you are saving the content for a web page. Okay, let's assume you make a web banner in Adobe Illustrator, and they need to upload this web banner on website. Okay, you have to reduce it to screen 72. Okay, to 72. Why? Because using a high resolution will give you will increase the size of the stuff. Do you get my point now? It's just like when you export it with the resolution of 300 ppi, the file size might be like 500, um it might be like 500 kilobytes. I'm using that as an example. And if you want to upload web banners on websites, okay, at times what you might just have there is just like 20 kilobytes. Okay, your file size should not exceed 20 kilobytes. So it means that when you're exporting something with 300 ppi and it's giving you 500 kilobytes, it means that you can upload it, right? So what do you need to do? You need to reduce the resolution of you exporting the document. Do you get my point? So if you know that you are posting the stuff on a website, always use your what? Your screen. Okay. And if you know that you are posting on social media as also, you can still use the screen, but I do like to use my high at all time. Okay. Do you get my point now? So, but you can use screen or high if you are posting on social media, but I will always recommend high. Do you get it now? So then you can now click on OK. Okay. So it has exported like that. Do you get my point? So look at this. Look at the content we have outside our artboard area now. Can you see? Can you see the content we have outside our artboard area now? Did you get it now? Okay. So, but this one will not be showing because we click on use artboard. Now let's export a document that we do not click on use artboard, and we are going to see the difference. So click on export. Click on export as, then just try flyer. Okay, the reason why it's showing training flyer here is because I've actually renamed my artboard. Okay, because I've actually renamed my artboard. That's the reason why it's showing training flyer here. If I don't rename my artboard, it's going to show just this flyer. Okay, do you get my point? I'm talking about the document that I exported earlier. Do you get it now? Good. So here now, I didn't take this use artboard area, then I'm just going to click on export. Okay, good. Now let's go back to that directories now and see what we have. Okay, so where is it? Design course. Okay, so now look at it. Look at it now. So can you see now? Can you see now? So now let me open the second file so that you can see the difference now. Let me open the second file. Do you get it now? Good. So can you see now? This one is only showing the design. Why the other one is showing all the what? All the other documents we have in the pasteboard area also. So always, if you are using the export as option, always tick your what? Use artboard. Do you get it now? So another option, which is the last option, is save for web. Okay, save for web, and it gives you access to use some of the features like saving it as a GIF, GIF format. Do you get my point? But you can also click on this drop down icon here to be able to save it as JPEG, PNG, and PNG. Okay, so if you don't want it to have transparency, you can always click on no what transparency. You get my point. But here we have a background here. So let's assume you also export a document as a PNG. That is, you don't want it to have a background. Okay, and you are using the save for web option. You are using the save for web option. Then you can easily tick what transparency, no transparency. Do you get it now? Good. So all these, you can just leave it like this and click on save. And you can also come here to click on original or optimize or two up. If you click on two up, it means that it's going to increase the value. Okay, it's going to increase the size of your design when you are exporting it. For example, the size our Canva is what 800 by 800, right? Good. So if I click on two hop, it will now be 1006 by 1006 after exporting. Do you get it now? Good. So I always advise you to stick with original, optimize. If you know you are saving for web, you know you want to use the design for a web project, you can always click on optimize. Optimize will help you to compress the file size a bit. Do you get it now? So and you always click on save. So it's as simple as that. Do you get it now? So now let's assume you want to save your design. Let's assume you want to save your design in other what? In other formats. For example, I've already saved this as a AI Adobe Illustrator file format now. But let's assume I want to save it as EPS. Okay, EPS format. How can I do that? And that was going to be what I'm going to explain right now. Do you get my point? So always come to file, then click on save as. Okay, save as give you options to save the file of your design in other format. In other format like PDF, like Illustrator EPS, like Illustrator template, like SVG and SVG compress. Okay, so for example, Adobe Illustrator is a vector-based software. Okay, and CorelDRAW. CorelDRAW is also a vector-based software to some extent. If I save my file as Adobe Illustrator and I need to open it with another vector graphic software, I can't do that. Okay, but saving it as EPS option, saving it as EPS option or SVG option give me access to be able to open this file, the same file in other vector graphics software. Do you get my point? So it means that when I save my design project in EPS format, anybody with any vector graphic software can open the what? Open the file. So it's not necessary for the person to be able to use the Adobe Illustrator before the person will be able to open the what? The file. Okay. But if I save it as Adobe Illustrator, you need Adobe Illustrator software for you to be able to open that file. But saving it as EPS format or SVG format give anybody that is using a vector graphic software, okay, to be able to open the file. And this thing comes handy when you are dealing with logo. Okay, it comes handy when you are what? When you are dealing with logo. And with that now, see you in the next video.